In this video, we're just going to briefly look about how to actually use oxygen. Now this is an oxygen cylinder. It's a standard BOC cylinder. So you've got the cylinder at the bottom. In the middle, there's the identification tag. And at the top, you've got the regulator. The regulator itself has a contents gauge, the main on-off button, and also there's a hinged cover here which opens up to show the barbed outlet where the oxygen connects to. And finally, at the very top, you've got the control knob. So with oxygen itself, you need to deliver it. The cylinder's not enough, so you'd also need a mask. So this is a standard non-rebreather mask. So this mask would go over the patient's bang on the back of their head. You've got a securing clip at the top, which actually just holds around their nose, and then the main bag. So what you do with this, to start with, is the oxygen itself, you need to first turn on the cylinder. So on the back knob here, and you literally turn it anti-clockwise. So you just turn it around until it's fully open, and then turn it half a turn back. The reason for that is just so that if it's on the full and the temperature changes, sometimes it can be quite hard to then close the valve off. Now, the regulator has now been primed with oxygen, so the next thing to do is to connect up the non-rebreather mask. They're all push fit, so you've just got the standard fixing on the end of the pipe, push that over the pipe, and you'll see it holds in place. Now, we're not looking at massive pressure here, so just that friction grip there is more than enough. The next thing you need to do is just turn onto the end, and you'll see this is where the main control knob is, and there's a little window there that says the flow rate. So you turn that on, round, and to start with it will stay on to 15 litres a minute. As that's on, the mask itself bag inflates, and then this mask can be put straight over the patient. To turn it off, take the knob at the top, just wind that down to 0. The next thing you need to do is depressurize the regulator. So take the main knob, twist it round clockwise this time so that it locks it fully off. Once that's off, and then we need to depressurize the regulator. So just turn the oxygen on and it will hiss just to let the last of the pressure out. Once that hissing stops, the oxygen's all out of the system, so you can then revert that back to the 0 position, so that when we're storing it, the top valve is shut on 0, and also this one here is on 0. To remove the mask, just pull the oxygen pipe off and then close the cover over. Once you've used this oxygen cylinder, you need to make sure how much you've got in it. Do you need to replace it? So there you'll see there's a gauge on it. So general rules, if you've got less than half a cylinder there, you would need to replace it. But it depends on what your local policies and procedures are with using oxygen. If it's in many cases, they may say as soon as one cylinder's been used, then we may well need to just replace that cylinder, because you always want to have the maximum amount of oxygen when you need it. And finally, oxygen is part of the fire triangle. It is potentially an explosive gas, so you need to be very careful. So try to avoid using it in very enclosed rooms, or if you do have to, then open a window. Don't put it anywhere near any dirt or oils, because that can cause problems as well. And also make sure that it's checked regularly to make sure that there hasn't been any leaks on it. And also when you're transporting it, make sure you don't drop it. So always try and lay it down when you're using it rather than standing it up onto its end.